Hey, it's studio time. The Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Send your band submissions to Nate at radio949colorado.com.
All right, it's Studio 94.9. Nate Wild here with you, and we are on location at New Belgium and joined by Shaley Scott. Welcome, Shaley. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me.
Hi, thanks for having me, Nate.
Absolutely. Now, to start off, if I could I just get you to kind of introduce me and the listeners to Shaley Scott, this thing that is Shaley Scott, please?
Sure, this entity.
Yeah.
Sure, I was born and raised in Fort Collins, so I'm one of those natives and proud to be one. And then at 19, I packed up my bags and moved to LA, and I lived there for about 10 years. Yeah, did a couple movies, was signed to a small label. And then I just decided I was missing that hometown feel. I got married, and it kind of was like, you know what? Let's see what Fort Collins is up to, because I'd heard the music scene had gotten a lot better. And I came back here, and it was amazing. I mean, it's kind of like LA is amazing. It's a great place to be, but you kind of get lost. You're kind of a small fish in a big pond. And then you come to Fort Collins, and when I left, it was nowhere near what it is now. It's just become this art town that's full of art and music, and I'm so proud of it. So I came back thinking, we'll just spend a year or two here and go back to LA, and now it's been 6 years because I've been so happy here that there's really no reason to leave at this time. So yeah, so I'm back and just rocking out.
That's so cool. How'd you get started as a musician? Can you give me this story?
Sure. So it started when my grandparents had a piano, and we used to go over there, and they would be in the creepy basement. And I would just go down there, and I would be plunking away, and I kind of just taught myself by ear how to play. And I was playing it so often that my grandparents surprised me when I was 9 and just bought me a piano.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like the best present ever. So I really kind of credit them for just knowing and seeing that I loved something so much. And my parents couldn't afford it, so they surprised me one time, and then the rest is history. I just kind of started writing songs when I was 10, 11, 12, and then I had a friend in 7th grade commit suicide, and I wrote a song about it, and that's when I started to realize that music could be therapy, and I sang it in front of the whole school, and I think that that's when I realized that's what I wanted to do. Like, I saw how people were affected. I saw how afterwards people came up and said, that song was beautiful, that's amazing that you can do that, and the rest was history. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, it's such a sad story, but I mean...
It is. It's a sad story with a happy-ish ending, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. The best songs, I forget who said it. This is like a quote that I'm going to butcher, and that I don't remember who said it, but you write better songs when you're sad.
You do. I mean, one of the... Oh, someone just got a little happy here.
Party foul.
That's New Belgium. Woo! We love it here. What were we talking about? Sad songs. Well, that was one of the struggles I have as a musician, is to try to write, like, happy songs. Because you do need some, and people don't just want to have a Debbie Downer album. So that's been a struggle for me always. But I've learned, I think, in the years to really embrace happiness as well. And so, I think I've grown as an artist and learned how to do that more. But definitely... like, things just ooze out of me when I'm sad. It's like I can't stop writing. And then, I don't know. I think that's just the artist in me. I think us musicians are tortured souls, so we love that.
Absolutely. I'm a musician, too, so I can relate.
Yeah.
We're on the same page here.
Yeah. I mean, and that's usually what makes you want to write a song, is you're feeling all these feelings. And that can mean love and happy as well. But usually it just means, you want to go in a corner and sob for a while.
Totally. All right, well, I'm going to throw one of your songs on if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one's called Nerdy Girl. Can you tell me a little bit about this song?
Yeah, this one's kind of making fun of myself. And it talks about being a Coloradoan, but also just for all the girls out there who are nerdy and who aren't afraid to say they watch Jeopardy. And, I go bowling, stuff like that. Yeah, I think everyone can kind of relate, be nerdy once in a while.
Totally. There's a happy song, fun song, right?
It is, actually, yeah. I wrote this song, it was one of the first songs I wrote when I was in LA. I was missing home, and everyone was so fancy, going to their fancy parties and fancy bars, and I was like, I just want to go bowling. So that's kind of where it started.
That's so cool. Once again, it's Studio 94.9. We're joined by Shaley Scott. This is called Nerdy Girl.
in a long time.
All right, once again, it's Studio 94.9. My name is Nate Wild. I'm joined by Shaley Scott here. Now, you were telling me a story about some things you were doing for your community here in Fort Collins with the buses and all that. Can you give me this story? Tell me this story.
Well, yeah, Fort Collins has always been one of those cities where people like to ride their bikes and people like the outdoors. But the thing is it's not always warm, as we know, and so a bunch of us realized that the buses only run Monday through Saturday and they weren't running on Sundays. And there's a lot of people that can't afford to get a car, and in the winter it's really hard. And so we started lobbying. I had a friend ask me to come to City Hall and sing, and so I just started making up a song about how we need buses on Sunday. Nice. And then, the council members would walk in and they would hear us play. And then we did that a couple weeks in a row, and we really lobbied for it, and it ended up passing. So now they're going to do a trial run and have buses run on Sundays. So I just thought it was important because not everybody can afford a car. So
totally, that is so cool. And then
fun.
Your record label, they do some charitable things too, correct?
Well, yeah, Dawn Duncan, who founded Sugar Fox Records, she's really passionate about the homeless. So she does a lot of things where she makes care packages, and she'll come downtown in Fort Collins and just hand them off. They have stuff like socks and just like things that everyone needs, a blanket, and she just goes around and gives them to people that she sees that might need them. And I think that's amazing. I love being a part of a record label and a founder that has that kind of heart. So I think it's great. And I know that we have plans to do more of that in the future. And also I like working with gay rights as well. So we're toying around with the idea of my new single, Careful, some of it going to the LGBT community. So yeah, we're working that out right now as well with GLAAD and stuff. So yeah.
Nice, very cool. All right, well, I'm going to throw another one of your tunes on.
Yeah.
This one's called Death Me. Can you tell me a little bit about this tune?
Yeah, so this one and Nerdy Girl, kind of those songs that never really got released. Yeah. I really like the songs, but they don't really fit in anywhere on an album, so I like to play them live a lot. And this song's just about someone that you shouldn't be with, and they're probably going to, be the death of you. Yeah. You know that it's not a good idea. And you keep trying not to, go that route, but somehow it just keeps happening, and you kind of know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everyone at one point has had that. So yeah, it's just it's kind of a fun song though. It's not sad, really, in any way, because you know exactly what you're getting into. Yeah. It's kind of masochistic in that way, but I love it. Yeah.
Oh, so cool. Once again, it's Studio 94.9. We are on location at New Belgium with Shaley Scott. This is called Death Me.
Holding my breath down, just that good. I'm holding myself down, 'cause I know I should. It's getting harder to take this heat. Ready for your rapture, ready for the heat. And why don't you tie me down? Don't you give it your best? Why won't you lock me up on house arrest? I'll do what you want, I might not make it through, 'cause my senses can't handle, they can't handle you. And now
All right, once again, it's Studio 94.9. Nate Wild here with you. We are on location at New Belgium. I have Shaley Scott with me. Now, Shaley, you're doing an acoustic show here at New Belgium today, and yet, like, your recorded stuff is totally not that.
Yeah.
It's very...
it's produced.
Yeah, very produced. Tell me about the difference, I guess, between doing something like this and doing something like that, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think everyone loves those big shows where you play these big venues and it's a big deal and it's a big hurrah and you have the whole band out and, hundreds of people come. Those shows are always fun, but, I always think back of when I first started. It was a girl on a piano, a girl on a guitar, and then I would do open mics in LA. And so once you do some of those shows, you start to miss kind of those small shows where you get to connect with people and be intimate.
Yeah.
And so especially Fort Collins, there's so many opportunities to do these smaller shows. So I just... started doing more acoustic type shows as well. And then people get to see a different side of me. So they can go to the Shaley Scott show and see produced stuff. And the new album is actually going in the direction of more like electronic, which is even crazier because then you see me here and it's not that at all. But I think it's just kind of in my heart because that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And then you get to really talk to people and they get to see this other side of you. And I also get to play a lot of covers, which I love because you don't want to do a big show and people come pay to see you and you're doing covers.
Yeah.
But here it's a free show for 2 hours, so you get to do some fun songs that are kind of silly and that people are like, I remember that song. So yeah.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Okay, the final tune we're going to play today, it's called Careful. It's brand new.
It is.
Tell me about Careful.
So Careful is a really fun dance song. When I started to make this record, I knew that my sound wanted to kind of escalate and change into more of, there's a couple dancey dance tracks, but just more like electronic pop, more in like the Sia and Tovlo type. So, and it's very produced, the record, and which, some people might love, and some fans of mine might be like, wow, this is so different. But for me, it's just really where I wanted to go. So, but this Careful song is just a fun, dancey dance tune about, like, being on the dance floor with someone, sexy, fun. Be careful what you ask for is basically what you're saying, because you're going to get me. So, but the funny thing is we've never played it live yet, and I've never played it acoustic, and so it's a really dance track with, lots of beats going. So it's going to be pretty funny to see how it turns out today, but I think it'll be fun.
That's fantastic. Exclusivo is what you're getting here, people. Once again, Shaley Scott, Studio 94.9, on location at New Belgium. This is called Careful.
Let my body lose control. Oh, take my hand, you don't understand.
Once again, it's Studio 94.9. I'm Nate Wild, joined by Shaley Scott here at New Belgium. Now, tell me and the listeners what's next for Shaley Scott.
Sure. So I do have some big things coming up that I can't quite say yet. So if you want to find more about it, you can go to ShaleyScottMusic.com, Shaley Scott Music on Instagram, and Shaley Scott Music on Facebook. Then you'll see all the updates. So I wish I could tell you more, but there are some exciting things coming up. But we do have an album in the works. It'll probably be out in June. So it'll be out in the summer of 2017. But right now, Careful is the newest single. And it's available right now on iTunes and Spotify and all that jazz, Amazon, everywhere, I think. So, yeah, Careful. Check it out. It's really fun. It's kind of a no-thinking song. Not meant to be too deep, just kind of fun. So, yeah. So a new album and then some other things in the works. So
very cool, very cool. Once again, Shaley Scott joining me today. Just want to thank you so much for talking to me, sharing your stories, and sharing your music with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me where there's beer. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's always a plus. We don't have beer at the radio stations. This worked out great.
I know, it's great. You should always do On Location.
We'll work on that.
Well, thank you.